Hi guys, welcome to another quick episode this week of Detective Comments, and a lot of you will probably have seen loads and loads of bits and pieces about the new Lanterns show from James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Universe. The first episode aired on Sunday, and I thought it was fantastic. I thought Hal Jordan was expertly portrayed by Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler's a fantastic actor anyway, but I thought he really embodied the comic book character. I thought Aaron Pierre was, who I didn't realise was British for some bizarre reason. I thought he was great as Jon Stewart. There was some criticism when he was cast that he wasn't black enough to play Jon Stewart, and Jon Stewart was blacker in the comics. Fuck off to anyone that says that. He looked great, and especially when you see him in the shots where he's got the goatee, he just looked, amazing. I thought Kelly MacDonald was fantastic, and there won't be any spoilers in this, by the way, for anyone that hasn't seen it. I thought the setup and the idea that they've gone for a true detective type grounded crime story that is wrapped around the whole Green Lantern mythology, I personally thought was a good choice. The thing is, us comic book fans, you make it too comic booky, like Batman and Robin, and there's complaints that it's too kitsch, too kitsch and cheesy and, graphic noir. And then when you make it more grounded, people complain that it's not comic book enough. I guess there's no pleasing some people. I thought it was a fantastic take on it, and I just love the scenes that you've seen in some of the future trailers, showing some scenes about the storyline they're going to explore. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I thought it was full of twists and turns. It was certainly had some unexpected scenes. I thought there was some very clever nods to classic comic book lore. I have a few ideas about who some of the characters might turn out to be. I might be wrong, but I'm excited to find out. One of my main frustrations in some of the complaints have been that it's too, you've got whiplash from the tonal changes. You've got Clayface coming out in October that is openly going to be body horror and lean towards more a horror aspect, which is in keeping with the character. If you have read many of the more recent iterations of Clayface in the graphic novels, One Bad Day storyline, etc. And I don't know if it'll be R-rated or 18 certificate, but it'll probably be 15 certificate, I imagine, certainly in the UK. That would be R-rated in the US, wouldn't it? But and then you had Peacemaker, that was certainly more for a mature audience, but then you've got Superman and Supergirl that were more for the family-friendly audience, and then you've got Lanterns that is obviously aimed at a more adult audience, and people saying that the tonal whiplash is jarring, which again, I think is bullshit, because Marvel has tonal whiplash. You've got The Punisher, who is the most brutal, violent guy in the Marvel Universe, probably, in his own series, dropping F-bombs, killing people, blowing holes in people, blowing people's heads off. And then he pops up in Brand New Day, and he's almost swearing and being stopped, and the violence is toned down. What character has more tonal whiplash than the Punisher in the Marvel series when he's kept in continuity? So the people saying that they can't get their heads around it, again, that's just finding a reason to complain, because it's only tonal whiplash if you choose it to be. At the end of the day, whoever watched Harry Potter and saw him come across a massive nest of giant spiders and thought in real life, you'd be saying, fuck me, that is fucking ridiculous. You wouldn't not be swearing at all, even if you are a child. So it's fantasy, for fuck's sake. People need to just calm down and wind their neck in a little bit. And if you're a comic book lover, personally, I love the way that James Gunn has taken the DCU. I love Zack Snyder. I've loved every iteration of... I went to the cinema to see Batman and Robin 6 times. I just love it. I really enjoyed Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. The fact that Supergirl has not been as commercially successful as they hoped, and critically as well. People are saying it's the death knell of the new Gunn Safran DC universe. No, it's not. Marvel have had loads of missteps in certainly their latter phases with movies that didn't do commercially and critically as well as they liked, and on television, and they're still kicking. It's multifactorial, isn't it? Why things work and why certain things don't chime with audiences at a certain time, but it certainly doesn't mean it's a death knell of it. And I think the ratings have already proved, and early reviews for the first, I think the four episodes have been reviewed in bulk by some critics, and they've said it's great, and it's rated fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. And some people might have feel it tails off towards the end when we get to the end of the series. Who knows? We're only right at the beginning, but so Supergirl didn't do as well as possible. That I still think the DC universe is in great hands with James Gunn. I said that from the beginning on one of my very first videos, and I still believe it. And I really enjoyed Supergirl. But getting back to Lanterns, if you're not a comic book fan, you might find something to enjoy in it. A bit like Battlestar Galactica is science fiction, but is very grounded in reality, and the science fiction elements are very tertiary. This is a bit like that. The comic book elements are there, and there's loads of Easter eggs for people who know what they're looking for. But it's very grounded, a bit like Christopher Nolan's Batman, etc. And I think you might enjoy it even if you're not a comic book fan and don't really know much about Green Lantern particularly. And if you are a comic book fan, I think there's loads for us to enjoy. I love Green Lantern. I think this is fantastic. I can't wait to see where it goes. And I hope those of you that enjoyed it are really, really excited to see where they take us. And hopefully, we know there's so many more stories you can tell in that universe. And I'm certainly excited to see what they do with Sinestro as well. So I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope some people give it a go. Like I said, even if you're not a comic book fan, I think you might be pleasantly surprised because it is entertaining. The special effects are great when they turn up. I think the scene of him taking off in his normal clothes when he takes off in flight was a fantastic visual effect. It looked very, very realistic. And it's funny as well. His portrayal of Hal Jordan and their dynamic together, him and Aaron Pierre, Carl Chandler, and Aaron Pierre's dynamic as Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart is very funny. Very buddy cop movie, and I just think Carl Chandler is nailed it. And I can't wait to see Nathan Fillion pop in as Guy Gardner, because he was one of the standouts from Superman. So check it out if you haven't already, and if you have, I'm with you. I can't wait to see what happens next. Speak to you soon.